Okay, we've got considerably more wind than the forecast, but that's always good fun for a sea trial. So we've got proper white caps. It's offshore, blowing offshore today. So it's just fetch, building up its fetch at the moment, but it's a proper good test. I'd say at the moment we've got a consistent 20 knots, gusting to 25 from the west. The sea state is just a moderate sea at the moment. It's much more about the wind chop at the moment. And the first thing that you got to point out on this hull, she's solid glass. So we've got foam core decks, but we've got solid glass with Kevlar reinforcement. It's noticeable. It's quiet. We've got a lot of insulation. We're running the C18 cats. We've got straight shafts. We have got the track active fin stabilizations. They are on auto, operated from this panel just here. And I got the Humphrey interceptors also on auto just here. So I'm going to be running you through the speeds, revs and fuel flow, and we're going to take the sea on 3 different points and essentially end up back where we started. Then at the end of that triangle, so to speak, I'm actually going to run the boat up to full speed, because she's not just displacement mode. You know, she's perfect for long distance cruising at 11 knots, but she's also got the capability to run from the weather. I would say, yes, you're going to use a little bit more fuel, but she's totally doable. 8,000 litres total capacity in 2 tanks on this one. We've got about 30% in the tanks. Brand new boat, so she's essentially a light ship. Currently doing a GPS speed of 10 knots SOG, heading south, and that is at an RPM of 1180 RPM. Let's just get it up to 11 knots, because that's the speed that they talk about in the brochure. And no real noticeable bow raise. Plenty good viz actually, even from the pilot house. We will drive from the flybridge. We'll do that when we get back inshore, because it's cold. I don't want to right now. So I'll wait till we're inshore and might be a little bit less wind. So we have 11 knots SOG. I see 1300 RPM, or about 1320. My engine load is at 30%, and I see 45 litres, not gallons, litres per side. We're running 5 blade props on this boat, and remember, she's also got a bit of a keel, and that keel it protects the running gear according to the photos or the line drawings that I had a little study of this morning. When I do begin to take the fetch on the bow, I've got wiper controls just here. At the moment, I'm just fine with that. I'm really going to play with the slow speeds. Obviously, she's as a trawler style, you do have a little bit of lack of visibility when you look from about that angle and that angle, but you know, in terms of general situational awareness from down here, it's really good. And also, do pay attention to the stabilization. Just look through probably camera 2, see against the horizon there, she's pretty solid. Like, I can feel it's like a 50-ton boat when you've loaded it up with fuel, etc. Probably more. So we're just going to go through about 100 degrees, maybe a little over 100 degrees to port, and we'll head out to sea a little bit. So we're going to be taking that wind on our stern pretty soon, and we're just tracking through at 11 to 10.5 knots. I'll actually increase the speed a little bit. I might put my sunnies on because I'm going to get the sun soon. So she's a big boat. You know, you want to watch your risk angles if you were doing this in close quarters, but not really important for out at sea. There's no one out here today. No whales, nothing to worry about. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that course, still at 11 knots. I'm actually going to bring the speed up ever so slightly now, and we'll get her up to probably 1500 revs. We'll just see what that does for us. 1500 revs. I'm seeing an engine load. It's only 36%. Might give it a little bit more actually. 64 litres a side. 12 knots. I'm giving it time to catch up on me, so just bear with me. It's tracking nicely. You'd be super comfortable just holding conversation down here. 1600 RPM, 45% engine load. No noticeable bow raise. The Humphreys are doing a little bit more, but I don't notice it on the horizon yet. I'm seeing 12 knots SOG, and I got a fuel flow of 80 litres, 80 litres per side. Feels good, feels good. I think the bow wants to raise ever so slightly from here onwards, so let's push through 1600, let's get to 1700 RPM, and that sees 12.5 knots SOG, 50% load, 95 litres, little bit of bow raise just there. Humphrey's working a little bit harder, clear all around. Let's just bring that a bit more. I might just play with 1750. Okay, so yeah, from about 1700 RPM onwards, I can just see a little bit of bow raise and acceleration. Basically, the anchor is now touching the horizon relative to my position where it was below the horizon before, and you should be able to see that on the drone pics. Stabilization feels good. Noise levels are great, low. I'm comfortable. I've got air conditioning pumping. I really don't have any sun annoying me at the moment. It might in a second. So let's do another turn and we'll go into this fetch and wind chop. Just turning slowly. And I got the wind on my port beam now, coming through at 12.6 knots. I'm still sitting at 1770 RPM, 58% load, about 110 aside. There we go. It's time for windscreen wipers. Okay, must be okay. So you press it, boom, boom. It's got different speeds. I'm just playing with that. That's the blinds rattling there on my port side. So if you want to get rid of that rattle, you just got to pull the blinds up all the way. Okay, so we've probably got, relative to the angle against the wind, I'd say we've got about 30 knots apparent wind over the decks now. So we're going to introduce some spray up and over the side. It really is only hitting the windscreen here. I don't think it'd be affected up on the flybridge, or it didn't look that way when I was doing it or watching it from the drone before. And yeah, 13 knots, 1770 RPM, 105 litres per side. She feels good. I've got an autopilot. I just don't feel like turning it on. And yeah, this is, if you were running with the autopilot on right now, you can sit quite comfortably here. These seats are adjustable, but I got good situational awareness. I got triple screen. You could probably fit 4 on this panel here. It's on an angle where I can see everything quite comfortably, and it's not hindering my visibility forward from the seated position. And if I stand, I can actually raise myself quite a bit with these footrests, and they can also flip up and out of the way should I wish to stand in here. But I'm quite comfortable with my legs spread at the moment and doing it that way. So okay, let's start heading south again. We're going straight into the wind now, still at that 12.5, touching 13 at times, easily 30 knots over the decks right now, so that's good. I like to see that. Proper test, excellent. Tell you what, catching the drone in this was fun today. So we'll just track south. So we'll put the wind on our starboard side, and once I see that, I'm going to bring the boat up to a fast cruise. Okay, 1850 RPM. All right, a little bit of spray. $14 knots. At 1880 RPM, I think that's a good course for now. Actually, no, let's just do 20 degrees to port. Okay, excellent. Lose those sunglasses. Okay, 1880 RPM. We have engine load of 60%, fuel of 129 aside. Let's just give it some more. That bow raise hasn't really changed from the earlier revs. It's still sitting at the pretty much the same angle. Now I'm coming through 15, approaching 16 knots RPM. The bow rays actually, Humphreys are working, so we've got full interceptor down, but bow rays has remained consistent, so that makes my life easy. So workload's not too bad. I'm seeing 2000 RPM right now, 70% engine load, and a fuel flow of 165 litres per side at 16 knots. So this feels like a fast cruise. This is not wide open throttle, 2030 RPM. Still got about 25 to 20 knots of wind over the decks from the starboard side. This feels good. I like this wheel. It's very nice. The timber, it just feels good at hand. So if you are hand steering for a while, she's going to be comfortable. If you're used to a sailing boat, these bigger wheels are quite nice. So let's just increase that RPM. All right, good amount of spray over the decks there. It's only hitting this deck. You're not going to be affected up on the flybridge from what I can see here. All right. 18 knots, SOG, 2,150 RPM, full Humphreys, stabilisation is busy, and fuel flow of 187 litres per side. Angle is still the same. So Humphreys doing their thing. The hull feels good, tracks nicely. Predictable, you know, and I can really feel the solid fiberglass hull. It's all these waves that are impacting with us. You don't really feel it in here. The boat's just bashing through. So you don't really have to do much in the way of adjusting your angle of attack against the waves. You just take them on whatever angle you like. I'm now seeing 19 and 19.5 SOG, 2,250 RPM, fuel consumption of 200 litres per side, and let's just push that all the way down. Wide open throttle now. 2,350 RPM, Humphreys still working, and I am seeing 20 knots SOG, not flat water. 2,350 RPM, 95% engine load, full Humphreys, actually not full, they've just raised a little bit to 80%, and I'm seeing 20.7 knots SOG, and I've got a fuel flow of 220 litres per side. I would say if we were inshore, you could probably increase that speed by maybe another knot, considering the conditions we've got here today. Let's just run down, or take a little bit more of an angle off the breeze there. Let's see what that does. You're not going to do this all day long, but it just gives you the option to run from some weather or to meet a deadline. Okay, that's good. So let's now wind back to 11 knots. I love my multiple aft-facing cameras. I got full situational awareness on the engine room with multiple cameras from here. This is great. You know, you can run this thing if you know what you're doing. You can run this thing as a couple for sure. Okay, coming back from 13 knots, I can see my waves dissipating. Obviously, I can also see them through that port aft window. So if you didn't have the cameras, you still have awareness on them from there. I do like having a camera over these platforms because if someone goes out there for a pee, I mean, we've got 5 toilets, but blokes are blokes, you can make sure you don't lose them. So, okay. 11 knots, 11.5, I just want to let that settle. Okay, I see a considerable, lowering of the bow at that speed. We're much more in displacement mode now. 11 knots. 1330 RPM, 45 litres aside. Let's just come back. Let's just have a look at 10. All right, 1200 RPM or thereabouts. Okay, I see 10.5. I want to see what 10 knots is going to get me. So let's just come back to 1150. Yes, noise levels lower at these slower speeds, but it's quite a well insulated engine room. So like I'm just feeling no necessity to raise my voice. You could walk around from the galley to the pilot house and back in the saloon there, and people can hold conversation with those engines purring away. You're not gonna have any issues. I could talk to someone back in the saloon whilst we're doing 16 knots. Okay, I see 10 knots SOG, 1160 RPM, 27% load, and 29, call it 30 litres aside, so 60 total at 10 knots. Let's just come back to idle forward. Okay, that's idle forward. RPM is about 590 RPM. I'm just letting the momentum settle down. So waves, now we're really not making anything in the way of offensive wash behind us. So this is totally fine for enclosed waterways, people on stand-up paddleboards, and people who you don't want to offend around you. And I'd say we can do a little bit more than this, but I can see 5.9 knots SOG at 600 RPM, engine load of 10%, and a fuel flow of 7 litres. So let's just go up till we see what we would call moderately offensive wash and see what we get. And then from here, we will cut to the fly bridge, and then we're going to have a play inshore with changing stations, because we've got 2 wing stations out the back, and then we're going to have to show you how the anchoring gear works. Okay, 750 RPM, just a little bit over 7 knots, acceptable wash, and engine load at 14%, 11 litres aside. Just give it a little bit more, just have a little play. Oh, I enjoy doing this. Even though it's windy and cold, this is fun. Okay, 850 RPM, 18% load, 15 litres aside. I'm seeing 8 knots, and acceptable. I think any more you might piss people off, just depending on where you are in the world. So I'd say 8 knots, call it a day if you're inshore, and trying not to offend people. Very good, interesting. See you on the flybridge. Okay, I've come to the flybridge. It is blowing 30 plus knots, so it was really windy up here. I may have to even lose my hat in a second. But to take command up here, all you do is hold your finger down on this button right here, and then it goes green. I think there might be an audio sound as well, but it's so windy I couldn't hear anything. What I'm going to do is actually just take the boat around in a bit of a circle up here, and then from here we're going to go and find, there's nowhere protected from this wind today. It's just, we're blowing around, so it is what it is. However, it is such a big, heavy, moderately heavy displacement boat. You don't blow around like the light ones do. Bit of a gust here. I'm going to have to turn my hat back. So why do I like an open flybridge like this? Yes, you can get it with an enclosed flybridge. I actually like the concept of having less weight aloft. So today's not the day to come and enjoy this flybridge, but that's why we drive from downstairs. The visibility is great. The boat stays moderately level. I've got awesome visibility from down there. I've got 2 opening doors on either side. So I've got easy access to the bow, easy access to the side decks, and getting out to the stern's not a problem as well. So I would just come up here and drive when the weather is nice, because if you opted for, and it is an option, and hey, you do you, that's why I make these videos, so I'm not telling you to do anything or one is better than the other, but just consider this. If you if you're optioning this boat with an enclosed flybridge, you're putting more weight aloft, you're putting more windage aloft, and now this is your primary helm and you're losing that lower helm. So your visibility is a lot less. I've got blind spots from here to here, whereas I don't have that from down at the lower helm because I've got glass all the way around. And with that extra weight aloft becomes more stabilization required and more movement when at sea. And if you are at sea and you're eating up some miles, you're going to be doing it from up here, which potentially is going to be a little bit more rolly. So, you know, just think about what you're going to do with the boat, think about your comfort factor and what you can sustain. And the other thing you should think about, you know, I've encountered this multiple times on sailing catamarans, lagoons specifically, charter boats, but with fly bridges. When you're going somewhere, you're up on the fly bridge, skippering the boat, and all your mates are downstairs, and it gets lonely. So just consider that. Think about what suits you. Obviously, if you're in Thailand, you need the enclosed, and it's a different way of boating because you need the air conditioning. Then that's a different consideration. But you know, I think if you're here in Australia where the ocean is rough, this hull is fantastic for just eating up miles. That solid hull and it's hand-laid fiberglass, you really notice it. So use it. Take the advantage. I think that's where I see a lot of positives in this design. And obviously, being at this higher position, you do have a bit of a more of a commanding view all the way around, but you've got blind spots close in. And we resolve that by having the wing station. So I think what we shall do, I'm just going to put the boat on a course into the wind and clear of these markers, and I shall move down to one of the wing stations, allowing myself enough time to get there, because she's a big thing, so it's going to be a few paces. Okay, so we've run out of light, so we're doing our best. So Carl's giving us the wing station demo while I get the aerials as we bring the boat in to the berth at Sanctuary Cove. It's going to be a portside tie-up. I'm actually just going to film the boat coming in. So we've got the twin disc on this, so when you engage, it's reasonably smooth. I'll try not to disrupt Carl's focus because this is an important time. I'm going to go out and watch starboard. Got these ultra powerful.
Can you see the bow?
Yeah, I can see the bow.
You right?
Yeah, you're clear to swing, just be gentle. Yep, clear to swing. All clear on the bow, all clear on the bow. All clear. Three meters at the bow. What these big hydraulic thrusters can do for you. I'm going for that aft cleat.
No, so this one here, go to that one there.
This cleat here?
Yep.
Copy.
Let it out, no, let it out a bit. Let it out a bit more. Dan, let it out. Oop. Yeah. Till I go back.
Sorry.
I'll tell you, that's all right.
My bad.
All good. Bit more. Get ready to lock it up.
Yep.
Okay, lock it up there, bud.
Sorry, I thought I was springing with this line.
No, that's okay. So
I can send this line up.
So you got a spare one, have you?
Yeah.
And I suppose
That's
that goes underneath, does it?
Yeah.
The one I want is over there.
All right. Why don't we redo this?
Just redo it, yeah.
Yep.
That's fine. You still got your drone in the air.
One thing we just learnt, we can put this door, we can face it forward rather than pulling it back, so you have clear access to the wing station when you need to operate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Same as the flybridge, you just take command here. And I don't think there is a noise because I couldn't tell in the wind today. It's just you hold the button down and then a second time and the lights go steady.
Solid, correct.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you're in control.
Yeah, hit
And
your thrusters and
with
you're away.
thrusters, same as at every helm, you
Yep.
just press start and you get the green light that says enabled. How does the boat perform and what would you compare her with? She feels like a little ship. So the solid glass hull, Kevlar reinforcement, thick as, is very, very noticeable on every point, with waves coming from any direction. Now you can lift this swim platform down aft if you're worried about that getting interfered with the sea. We didn't do that in the drone shots because it wasn't big seas, it was just wind chop today, but just letting you know you can do that. Who does this boat suit and how does she perform? She's solid, big, reliable, heavy, predictable thing, basically. If you're comparing it with another vessel, maybe have a look at Outer Reef, maybe also throw Fleming in there as well. Maybe Grand Banks, but I think they might be a little bit smaller on the volume, but check for yourself, you do you. I haven't been on the competing Grand Banks of this size. Some of these boats that I drive require a lot of mental energy and you have to consume a lot of your front of mind to keep the thing going because it's going to get thrown around by the weather, it's going to get thrown around by the conditions, and then you can sometimes keep quite busy at the helm with task saturation. My take on driving the 68 Endurance today is it's quite a calm, relaxing vessel to operate. It just looks after you. You can just point it in one direction and go. Sure, you choose the speed, but there's once you set those Humphrey interceptors, once you've got those fin stabilizations on, there's not a great deal of work for you to do because you aren't worried about the waves around you, so you can focus on other tasks. So if that makes sense to you, some boats can become quite exhausting after a period of time. If you're someone who's come from a sailing yacht and then you've moved into other powerboats and you step on this, you will completely understand what I mean, because your day on this will not be as tiring as your day on another vessel, because you're protected from the elements in terms of the design of the boat, but you are really, really protected from the elements when you're bashing through the seas. So it's just a very pleasant thing, which makes sense because I think it's designed for people who want to spend a long, long time aboard. So, hope that was useful. If you wish to do some comparisons, I would encourage you to do that. That's what this channel is for. I'll pop a competing boat up on the screen right now. Go ahead and do your own homework. Feel free to contact me on Minnect if you've got any questions. That is the only place to talk to me. And please subscribe, share, and get this content out there, because that's what the factory see, and that's what opens doors to allow me access to more boats to test and film for you. Also, don't forget to jump in the comments and let me know what boat you have now and what boat you're comparing this with. Love you lots. we've just fit this one in today. That was a lot of fun. Thank you. I'll see you next time.